forecast first on Color 10 News, Ozarks First.
Oh, what a way to kick off a work week. Absolutely gorgeous. One of the nicest days we've seen in a little while. We had sunshine, a little bit of high cloudiness thrown in, kind of sneaking across northern Arkansas into southern Missouri. Temperatures, that's been the best part. We got close to 70 in a lot of spots. In fact, right now at this hour, you can see to the north, we've still got temperatures in the low 70s north of Highway 54. A mild 68 in Springfield. Your evening forecast looks good too. We'll have starry skies, temperatures slowly settling through the 50s into the upper 40s by 3 a.m. Looks like morning lows in the mid 40s and another mild day expected on Tuesday. More on that and cooler and cloudier conditions to follow. That's in your forecast. Color 10 News at 5 starts now.
Now from Ozarks First, you're watching Color 10 News at 5.
Well, Missourians are now being exposed to more short-term lending loans compared to other states, according tonight to a new report by the National Consumer Law Center. Good evening once again to you. I'm David Oliver.
And I'm Heather Lewis. Thanks for joining us. Missouri and 11 other states don't put a cap on annual interest rates. Color 10's Francis Lynn tells us more about these types of loans and what local groups are doing to protect consumers. Francis.
Heather, David, I spoke with local community members who are trying to educate people on short-term loans, which can have very high interest rates and trap people in deep debt. Local organization Faith Voices describes the growing problem of payday and installment loans, saying the language is often purposely misleading. Community leaders have been trying for years to get a legislation to cap the interest rate at 36%, but for now, they're just doing what they can, reminding people to be extra careful when taking out a loan and drafting a city ordinance.
What it does is it requires the payday lending establishments to post across their storefronts what the true cost of the loan would be for a $100 loan. So the APR for a year.
That ordinance will be presented in a city council meeting in November. I tried reaching out to corporate companies including Check and Go, CashNet USA, and Lend Nation for a comment, but they did not respond before news time. I'll have more on other local community leaders' efforts to help people who have already taken out loans later at 6.
All right, Francis, we'll see you then. Thank you. From money health to physical health, a new study says it's important for men to exercise if they want to father children. The study finds men who exercise before their child is conceived can pass on long-term positive health effects. Researchers say dads who hit the gym have children who exhibit lower body weight and decreased fat mass. The children are also more likely to have improved glucose metabolism. And tonight, a man some call a Branson icon is back on stage.
But it's not a stage you'd expect to see him on normally. Color 10's Colin Lingo made the trip to Branson to see what's new with Shoji Tabuchi.
Yeah, David and Heather, it's been about a year and a half since Shoji Tabuchi has performed here in Branson. Tonight marks his triumphant return to the Strip, so to speak. It's the opening night of his Christmas show at the Clay Cooper Theater. You might recall back in May of 2017 when Tabuchi's home court, the Shoji Tabuchi Theater, caught fire. Since then, shows at the theater have been put on hold. More concerning, though, than the lack of performances, the lack of update regarding the progress of the theater's restoration. But according to Clay Cooper, Branson performer and also theater owner, even a seemingly small fire can become a major setback when it comes to a theater's structural integrity. For that reason, he and his wife, Tina, were willing to extend a hand to Tabuchi and keep the Branson icon in the Ozarks.
It's taken some time to get the restoration stuff done and the theater back up to code. So Tina and I were talking, I don't know, a few months ago about we ought to call Shoji and see if, we have some available spots. Maybe he'd like to come over and get his show rolling again while they're getting the theater back up to par.
We definitely want Shoji here in Branson. We just think he's great for our town. And so whatever it takes to keep him here, we'd love to, we'd love to have him here if we needed to keep him in Branson.
Now, Tabuchi will be here at the Clay Cooper Theater for 3 nights a week until December 21st. He is expected to return to the Shoji Tabuchi Theater, according to the Coopers, by March of 2019. Colin Lingo, Ozarks First.
And coming up next year on Color 10 News at 5, a former NFL player leaves prison after serving 18 years for murder.
And President Trump is closely watching a march of migrants.
It's a horrible thing, and it's a lot bigger than 5,000 people, and we got to stop them at the border.
This mass of people is making its way to the United States. Why are they so determined? That's coming up.
You're watching Color 10 News, Ozarks First with David Oliver, Heather Lewis. Weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner. This is Color 10 News at 5.
Thousands of Central American migrants on a march to the U.S. border are vowing to continue.
Yeah, over the weekend, in fact, the migrants forced their way into southern Mexico. They also surged past police barricades to do this. We want to show you some images we've got in our newsroom of this massive group. Take a look right here. Mexican authorities say you've got more than 5,000 people here in this massive group. It includes a lot of women and children. And with a group this large, it's really hard to keep families together. Some of these folks have been walking now for many days. They crossed over a river between Guatemala and Mexico on their journey as well. And President Trump is now vowing to use the military to stop these people here from entering our country.
You have some very, very bad people in the caravan. You have some very tough criminal elements within the caravan. But I will seal off the border before they come into this country.
And we will follow that story for sure. A Trump administration memo is also leaked out tonight to the press, and it's sparking outrage from the LGBT community. The administration is reportedly considering a new rule which would legally define who is male and female, and it would purposefully exclude transgender people. It would rewrite the legal definition of sex under Title IX, the federal civil rights law. Now, the change would define a person's status as male or female based on biological traits. The White House has no comment so far on that leaked memo.
Structural engineers will try to figure out why a clubhouse floor collapsed near South Carolina's Clemson University. This happened during a crowded party. At least 30 people were hurt when the floor gave way over the weekend. Dozens of people fell to the basement floor. None of the injuries were life-threatening. This clubhouse is a popular off-campus two-story event space near Clemson University. Witnesses say they felt that floor rocking, and then they heard a loud boom before the floor caved in. Ray Caruth is a free man. The former NFL wide receiver was released from prison today. He served more than 18 years for conspiring to murder the mother of his unborn child. The Carolina Panthers' 1997 first-round draft pick was released from Sampson Correctional Institution in Clinton, North Carolina, after completing his sentence of 18 to 24 years. Caruth is now 44 years old. He was found guilty of orchestrating a plan to kill a woman to avoid paying child support. She was shot 4 times while driving her car, but managed to make a 911 call and implicate Caruth.
And back here at home now at 5, take a look at these beautiful trees. They're changing colors right now. It's really starting to feel like fall out there with our colors and our temperatures. Jamie will show you how to plan your week coming up next.
Now, weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
Well, today was just about a 10. Perfect weather conditions across the Ozarks, the way you probably expect it and like it to be during the month of October. We've still got mostly sunny skies out there. Temperatures have been a lot warmer than we've seen, topping out in the low 70s where we still are to the north. Readings got very close to 70 in Springfield. The highest I've seen so far was 69. We've pulled back a little bit at 67 degrees, but this is still running about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. It was a gorgeous weekend, and these are the conditions that we need to have to get that fall foliage going. And really, if you drive around not only Springfield but across the Ozarks, we can see we are now transitioning in terms of the fall color. We're seeing it especially in the maples and also some of the other trees out there, but especially the maples like the red maples and the sugar maples. We're seeing those beautiful fall colors, and Mother Nature really playing her part. We've had the chilly nights, we've had the mild sunny days, we haven't had any big storms. storms with a lot of wind, although Saturday was a bit breezy. And we've had our first light frost across most of the Ozarks as well, although we haven't seen our first light freeze officially here in Springfield. And it looks like we are on track to have our peak occur late October, early November, as it's supposed to. Now, conditions right now across the midsection of the country, very, very quiet, save for a little bit of high cloudiness sneaking in across northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. As I broaden out the view, I want to kind of pull some things together that are actually going to impact the nation as a whole later this week. We've got some unsettled weather here in the western U.S. We've also got a very powerful hurricane in the East Pacific off the Mexican coastline. 155-mile-per-hour winds with Hurricane Willow. That storm will be making landfall. And it looks like that storm is going to team up with some of this upper-level storminess in the western U.S. to generate clouds and eventually wetter weather, especially along the coastline, as it looks like we'll see a storm related to the remnants of Willa moving along the Gulf Coast. But we're also going to sample some cloud cover and shower chances here locally in the Ozarks later this week. But we've got a couple more October beauties in store for you before that happens. Here's a look at what's going on right now. We've got the mild readings. We've got a cold front located to our north, and that front will drop south across the area very quietly during the day on Tuesday. You really won't notice the impact of that front until Wednesday, when it looks like we'll finally have some cooler air working back into the area. Overnight tonight, mostly clear to clear conditions, about 45 for an overnight low in Springfield, with highs tomorrow not quite as warm as today, but still nice. Looks like mid-60s to the north, upper 60s here across southern Missouri, and right around 70 across northern Arkansas. Winds out of the northeast at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, a 9 on our colorator. Now, looking at the pattern, I mentioned the unsettled weather in the western U.S. It will move across the area on Thursday, so look for clouds and even a chance for showers to return to the forecast by then. After that storm swings east, we're going to have a nice trough setting up across the eastern U.S., and we should see a series of storms rotating through that trough across the Ozarks later this week into this upcoming weekend. That's going to keep clouds and maybe even periodic chances for showers in the forecast into Saturday and Sunday. And looking long range down the road to next week as we wrap up the month of October and look at Halloween, looks like for Halloween we're looking at a fairly quiet weather pattern, a chance for showers maybe during the day. All in all, though, a mild day followed by a cool and it looks like quiet night across the Ozarks. So this is the earliest Halloween forecast I can give you, and right now it looks like it should be pretty good weather-wise. Now, your 7-day forecast, you can see in the short term, absolutely gorgeous October weather. Mostly cloudy, though, on Thursday with a chance for a few showers. I think Friday's mostly dry, but there'll be a chance for showers late Friday into maybe Saturday morning, and additional isolated shower activity possible again on Sunday.
You know, I was here last night. I'm just glad the two of you found your way into the back into the main studio.
There's a lot of light in here.
Things look different. You guys didn't get lost. You showed up for the news tonight. We're glad to have you here again. It's our new renovated studio here, so it's exciting.
Is beautiful.
Yeah, how about our Heroes Club number?
Number tonight is 203-402, and while the jackpot is not as big as that Mega Millions jackpot that's out there floating around at what, $1.6 billion now?
Yes, still climbing.
I think people would still take the jackpot amount, which I believe
$1,300. $1,300, Jamie. Thanks.
All right, well, coming up, an Army veteran is taking on a daunting challenge.
We came home with everyone, but after we got home, within 2.5 months, we lost our first guy.
Find out tonight how far he's cycling and how he's working to bring hope to his fellow veterans. Over the next few weeks now, Color 10 News will bring you stories of those who have served in our Veterans Voices reports.
Tonight, we are introducing you to a veteran who says he wants to turn 1,500 miles into $150,000 to help his fellow service members.
And he's doing it, in fact, by riding his bike, despite being paralyzed. Brett Hall met up with him in Virginia.
After biking 120 miles in one day, most people likely wouldn't agree to a bike race.
3, 2, 1, go!
But you will quickly learn Ricky Raley isn't most people. There isn't a challenge he won't take on.
I've been on variations of this style of bike for about 10 years now.
Raley was paralyzed from the waist down after he was involved in a car wreck in 2009. Nearly 6 months earlier, he had returned from serving in the Army in Iraq, where he says an IED explosion left him with brain damage. Yet none of that is why he's riding from New York City to Tampa, making sure he stopped in Virginia Beach.
It's important to come here and reach this market because there's so many veterans in this area.
Veterans he knows are suffering on the inside.
We came home with everyone, but after we got home, within 2.5 months we lost our first guy for suicide, and then it just kept going, and then the number just keeps going. So I need to stop that, not just for my guys, but for everyone out there.
So it's why he's talking to everyone, raising money for the Boot campaign that works with vets to improve their lives, no matter the issue: traumatic brain injury, PTSD, chronic pain, insomnia. Raley says there is help.
No one needs it more than you.
I'm Brett Hall reporting.
And back here tonight with us, new at 6 on Color 10 News. Jimmy mentioned the lottery there, and two Missouri lottery players here at home are new millionaires tonight. A Mega Millions ticket sold in Branson matched all 5 white ball numbers, and a Powerball ticket up in St. Louis came through for a lucky winner there.
And another store selling CBD oil is opening in Springfield, but this one has something a little different. The new owner is offering hemp products as well. At 6, we'll find out why the November 6th election could add yet another product.
On the way here at 5, though, an Arkansas animal shelter had a big problem: no room to play.
That problem is solved with help from some generous volunteers. That's coming up after this look at what you'll see at 5:30.
On the CBS Evening News tonight, we are live in Houston, Texas, taking a look at some of the closest congressional races in the country that could help decide control of Congress. That's on tonight's CBS Evening News.
A donation made to the Fort Smith, Arkansas Humane Society is literally changing lives for the animals there.
They had limited space and small play areas, which meant 485 dogs spent almost the whole day in kennels. Well, not anymore. The Fence Man Company and Quantum Construction created 10 new outdoor playpens for free. The Hope Humane Society got was 7-foot fences that will actually guarantee the safety of the larger dogs and then also allow the animals to spend some more time roaming free.
It was just heartbreaking to come here and see them in that little pen, you know what I mean, and I've seen how much, you know, it seems to mean to them to be out in the yard. So it's a good thing for them. It's going to be good for the dogs and good for the community.
It's not going to feel so much like a jail, shelter. I think it's going to feel more like a home in a way. They're going to have their own little backyard, kind of.
Wagging tails and happy faces will soon fill the new playpens, saying thank you to their two-legged friends.
On that note, we will say thanks for watching Color 10 News at 5. We'll see you back here in just 30 minutes for our news at 6.